we've got an update on the Turkey Tom situation and the allegations. My original take is that the allegations, for the most part, kind of just seemed like a nothing burger. Like, what it really boiled down to was Turkey Tom is into some level of age play, which, as long as everybody is a legal consenting adult or within a reasonable age range, I could care less. Like, it really, like, nobody is being harmed in age play. It's not an indication of Tom being attracted to, like, underage girls or something. I feel like that's like a weird insinuation. Again, I think age play is weird. I personally wouldn't do it, and I think it's, like, again, I think it's a sign of immaturity. But just because it's a sign of immaturity, that doesn't necessarily mean somebody is a predator. But Turkey Tom released a 40-minute response. 42 minutes, I guess. Close enough. Yeah, I figured it would be nice to have this in. And if you guys have not seen my previous Turkey Tom coverage, I highly recommend you would catch up on it. I'll leave links to it in the description below. And yeah.
I'm sorry that this response took so long. I wanted to make sure I had all the facts together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me, Sacramento89, real name Rowan, and Left 4 Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations, along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that, Turkey Tom would debunk these allegations at some point. I'm like, yeah, he's probably compiling a big response. But then again, a majority of the allegations are just, like, so nothing to the point. Like, I feel like if there's a criticism I could leverage at Turkey Tom, it's that he really needs to, like, not, like, fucking date crazies too much. Because, like, again, I say this in a lot of different allegations, like, crazies are, like, it'll be some of the best sex you'll have. But there is just so many fucking problems that they come with. And getting out of the relationship can be, like, very tough. Especially if they're fucking crazy. I would say the only allegation I really do care about is the, non-consensually recording girls, during sex. That would be an allegation that I care about a lot, more than anything else. And that would be a very serious allegation. So, yeah, we'll see what Turkey Tom has to say regarding that.
This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact, with Rowan, she was the one who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those meta glasses when you crack me." I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time...
I mean, does that really insinuate that you would record? I mean, I guess, but, like, does that really insinuate that you want to record? I don't know if that necessarily proves that part of it. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. I have thoughts about that, but I don't know if I want to, like, jump the gun immediately.
I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So 1 whole week goes by without us talking about it whatsoever, and then on August 25th, Rowan texts me saying, "You should get those meta things for real." So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid..."
Oh, okay, I guess it does insinuate that it is going to film. Okay. It's because the Turkey Tom has the text here. Got it.
Filming anything involving sex for a while, showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters. She is. As you can see in the text, even...
Also, why is she saying the N-word? Isn't, like, this girl supposed to be, like, a white girl? Why the fuck? It's so immature and cringe. I don't know. Young, stupid people are gonna do young, stupid things, I guess, but it's just so cringe. Like, you're a white person saying the N-word.
When I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear...
Okay. I mean, that definitely pushes back on you not wanting to record anything non-consensually at the very least.
We did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also on September 8th, Rowan texts me, I do miss it though, in regards to our sexual interactions.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds to me like the interactions were consensual. So I think we can close the book. It's seemingly, considering Turkey Tom is showing the receipts, that she agreed to it a lot more than she was letting on in her original accusations. Okay. I feel like we can close the book on that, at least. And to be fair, that's like the only allegation that I cared about. In theory, I could just end the video now and be like, yeah, I mean, all the other allegations I don't really care about. This was the only one I cared about, I could just stop the video right here, but, what's the fun in that, right? Besides which, I want more watch time, and I want more views on Drama Baby, and I want to dissect everything. So, yeah, we're gonna watch this bad boy from start to finish. You know what I'm saying?
She follows it up by saying send the videos. Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, I will watch them and keep them close to my heart, clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with them existing.
Well, there you go. Allegation debunked, like, within the first 2.5 minutes of this video. There you go.
I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex life and my dating life. As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very hesitant to send Rowan any sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured. I guess there was some lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well, and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like like the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex, or threatening to send them anywhere. So she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I, a person who makes a living as a public figure, would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane.
Yeah, I mean, when you really put it like that, that's a good point. I mean, I personally, that's not something I would want out there unless you're, like, filming a fucking OnlyFans video or you're doing, like, some kind of, like, porno. But I doubt that's what they were doing. They were just recording and they were consenting. I mean, to be fair, I would not feel comfortable having my sexual interactions recorded. That shit is private. That shit is staying in the bedroom. I personally wouldn't want to record it. I feel like that's a little, I don't know. That's just me though, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just like young, immature things to do. Based on the original accusations, I do remember the reason why Turkey Tom was going after these women to begin with was due to the fact that I think he was, like, with his girlfriend for, like, 3 years. He had, like, a girlfriend he was with 3 years, and then they broke up, and then he kind of just became, like, a fuckboy. And I think being a fuckboy's immature. I think a lot of men go through that phase, but I don't think being a fuckboy is, like, criminal. It's just, it's an immature and, like, wrong. I would say it's wrong, but it's not, like, it's definitely fucking peanuts compared to what these accusations are.
Not only would that incur reputational harm beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms. Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was, like, censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it, but you can
Yes.
I can tell the desk, like his computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly his desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like I was grabbing Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I am too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that."
God, dude, you're gooning to the crazies a little too hard, Turkey Tom, and I guess his merch saying stop gooning. I guess in the end, Turkey Tom did not stop gooning. I do think it's very weird that the owner of Kiwi Farms was totally fine with having, like, naked photos of Tom and his ex. Just be completely fine with having that shit sent to him and then him basically saving it. And also, let alone admitting that you're in possession of that on a fucking stream. That's crazy. I mean, like, I wouldn't expect, I guess, any better from an owner of a website that's responsible for, like, the numerous doxing and the numerous, like, lolcows that get posted on that website. But, like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, what an insane thing to admit to.
Again, she texts me asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not logged in, send the videos. It will fix me for about a week. Goon sash." This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually, or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he he never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record.
So she's obviously lying here. Wow. That's fucking crazy. I think Turkey Tom literally just, like, eviscerated. Like, again, we are only, like, 6 minutes into this video, but Turkey Tom eviscerated, like, I would say, like, half of these allegations, basically. Again, because this was the only thing I cared about the most, is if he recorded girls non-consensually. That's the part that I care about more than anything else. But, like, it seems to me, like, it's pretty clear that she knew a lot more than she was letting on in the original Kiwi Farms post.
And I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming or what I'm doing, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented to filming when she's literally holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick? In the interview, she says that what really concerns her is that I wouldn't send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I had asked him multiple times if he could please send me the videos, so, like, he's not the only one who has videos of me naked. And he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually get it, saying, "I want to see them videos, goon time," before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, "Do you ever go back and watch our videos?" And I reply, "Yes, I do sometimes, actually." Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now.
Damn, Turkey Tom really didn't stop gooning. Sad stuff, man. Sad stuff.
And then says, quote, "Need that big white cock." It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as our videos, but in the present she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never ask her for nudes. I say,
oh, the FT screenshots of you shirtless are my favorite goon material, if you say so. You never asked me for nude. I have a bunch of videos already, that's why, Rowan. Oh, yeah, you got a file.
I have a bunch of videos already, and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of our texts, and not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which she apparently had written about me on January 4th of...
Wait, what the fuck? She texted you a pros and cons list. Okay. Pros. Sweet sometimes, dates are nights, tries to make it work, funny, pays for meals, makes me feel secure, muscles. Cons. Chopped in the face, and thinks we were matched. Cheated on ex, follows his friends around like a dog, seems depressed all the time, no surprises, takes hours to respond, so dry and vague, rarely compliments me, doesn't leave his house, online all the time, Wait, this is so weird. This is such a weird thing to write about, like, a part. I don't know, dude. This is so fucking weird. I don't know, man. Like, I would never write something about this regarding a partner. Like, you... And let alone showing Turkey Tom. That's a fucking weird... There's something very off about that behavior.
2026. And in the con section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever. With that out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim.
Well, that certainly adds more credibility to your claims. Not that we needed it. I mean, it's basically pretty much confirmed that Tom never recorded them non-consensually, and he has a pretty solid evidence to do so. Obviously, Turkey Tom can't show the nudes, because that would be some form of revenge porn, and that would also just further... I feel like that would just, like, in a weird way, if Turkey Tom did that, that would pretty much confirm the allegations, but in a very different way, in the sense that it would be a form of revenge porn for career suicide. And even if in the moment he didn't take them, he took them consensually, he still shared that without her consent. So by disproving the allegations, he brings them to light, essentially, in this video. So it's very smart of Turkey Tom to not do that.
That I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed. This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote, I'm such a freak. I like when it hurts and bleeds after. Something Wong.
This woman is fucking... Turkey Tom. Like I said, the only... I have said this in, like, all my Turkey Tom coverage. The biggest fucking criticism I have, stop fucking around with crazies. Because you get yourself in all kinds of weird shit. And I feel like the basis of these allegations were because Turkey Tom was messing around with crazies to begin with.
In one of her public-facing posts about me, she posts an interaction which reads as follows. She says, quote, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day, or do it so hard I hurt and bleed. And I said, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like doing other things too. The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, just super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But in the full uncropped screenshot, her immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you...
Oh, I gotta go back and see this. So Rowan is, no, damn, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day, or do it, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't got it, we could do other things. Okay, I like doing the other thing too. For the record, you are just as lustful in this regard as I am. I am not alone. I'm a freak. Ah, yeah, okay, so she did cut that part out. The big white cock addiction has taken hold, it seems. But also, I want it to be special in the future when we are more serious. I know it has, with some rose emojis. But yeah, I do consider sex with you special. I don't consider it fleeting or silly. I do too. I always miss it. I like kissing you just as much. I do too. I say this, and then as soon as I see you, I'm gonna be freaky again. Shake my head. I can't resist. Are you just waiting in the airport? Oh my god, this girl is fucking... This woman's crazy. I'll tell you that much. Based off of everything I'm seeing so far, with like the pros and cons list, with the fucking text messages, like, and everything, like, this woman seems absolutely fucking insane.
Immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm going to be freaky again. I can't resist. In the interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed the
Yes.
same? And you didn't stop?
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatantly untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day after my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass.
Okay. Tom, I started my period. That sucks. I'm 40 away. I guess, is that like 40 minutes or whatever? That's the time period away, or distance away, either way. Okay, do you mind getting your sword bloody? I'll be okay, lol. That's a very tentative okay. And then she says, okay, what do you mean by that? I'm driving, shut up. No, I don't mind. Okay, the mass starts at 5:30. I believe so. We have some time before. Epics. They low-key wrecked my apartment. It's okay, though. Bro transitioned from mafia boss to child molester. Bro, what the fuck is this girl even saying?
And she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, Tom, I started my period. I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied by saying, that sucks, I'm 40 minutes away. She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's
Yeah, I mean, it's very tentative.
asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before, it was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every single time.
Yeah, so obviously she lied about that as well. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, not gonna lie. Turkey Tom's kind of cooking with this response video. She's kind of getting cooked. I don't know what else to say. It seems like these allegations are pretty flimsy. And Turkey Tom comes off as a lot more credible when it comes to both his proof and his narrative.
I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled, but even the smallest detail of no medical condition that I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me saying that she's going to switch from her current birth control, Nexplanon, to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So, regardless of sex, Rowan admittedly bleeds for an entire month at a time.
I mean, that could be a sign of, like, an underlying health issue. Not necessarily. I mean, like, periods can go on for any number of, like reasons or times or whatever. Or maybe it's, like, a young person thing. I don't fucking know. But, like, the overall point that she was trying to make was that Turkey Tom was making her bleed during sex because he likes rough sex. Even if at worst, right, even if he liked rough sex, that isn't necessarily an indication that Turkey Tom himself was forceful enough. And I was so confused about that particular narrative in the original sets of allegations, but it doesn't even seem like that allegation is true to begin with anyways, so... get owned, Miss Rowan.
One of Rowan's main criticisms is that I'm too rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he would maybe change and stop being so aggressive, because he told me before that he would, like, kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though he was, hitting and choking and beating me.
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship, I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to...
Well, it's mainly because there's always that, like, I guess 5% of them that thinks, oh, that person can change. Oh, this person is not... like, this is just, like, a one-time thing, and they would never do such a thing ever again. And, like, they still love them, so that's, like, that's what makes abusive relationships so complicated, for lack of a better term.
Validate their stories through my response. The real reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak.
Okay, hold up.
Her fantasies. In this first...
Alright, have you seen Tomorrow's Teachings? Yes, it's fire. I wish I was falling asleep with it in. That seems kind of painful and awkward, but it could be epic. Oh, never mind then. Freak unmatched. Would we have sleep sex, dream sex? Nah, but for real, I'm a freak. Like, I want someone to be kidnapped on some RS. Dude, what the fuck is happening? Dude, this girl, like, what did you get yourself into, Turkey Tom? This is fucking crazy. Like, again, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Dude, you gotta not fucking match with like, this woman, like, I am gonna criticize Turkey Tom a little bit, because, like, all the signs of this girl being crazy were there. And I understand that, like, breakups are tough. I'm pretty sure the reason why Turkey Tom was, like, getting with these women to begin with was because, like, he was on a breakup and he was on, like, a bit of a fuckboy spree, which, again, not cancelable. But you like, hopefully after this experience, you get better at, like, vetting out your women, because this is fucking crazy. What made you, like that, do you think? Nothing. Maybe it was the strange carts. I don't know, man. I don't know if kidnap is the right word.
Screenshot here, she expresses...
You could tell that, like, Turkey Tom is, like, very careful in the way that he talks to other women, because of him being a content creator and him being worried that this could be used against him, like, way later. Like, you could tell he's very careful.
That she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded. So
bro, what the fuck is happening?
Maybe there's something wrong with me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room.
Oh my fucking god, dude. This woman needs, like... I don't know why she is, like, so fucking sexual. Maybe this woman needs, like, some level of therapy or something. Maybe she has, like, some form of childhood trauma and she copes with it by being, like, this overly sexual person. But she is definitely a lot more of the aggressor than Turkey Tom has been in this situation, based on the text messages I'm seeing. And it's pretty clear to see why she didn't show this in her original set of allegations.
That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person. And she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, I want you to pound me. And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, I need to get face fucked for an hour. And
Jesus fucking Christ. Listen, I get being a gooner, but I don't know if I could be this much of a gooner. Like, even this is too much of gooning, like, even for me. Like,
replied by saying, damn, exams suck. On June 7th, she texts me and says, I'm excited to get fucked borderline domestic violently. At one point in the...
Borderline domestic... Bro, what happened to, like, sexual assault being, like, an actual, like, psychological torture or, like, a level of trauma that someone goes through? Like, that is, like, a legitimately horrible thing to have happen to you. How did it become, like, a fucking kink out of, like, nowhere? Like, what?
Interview, she states that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says verbatim, sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me. She clarifies, saying, I do like that though, even without the fighting. So at every opportunity, this girl is publicly saying, Oh my god, look at all this horrible shit he did to me. And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once again lies about weird little things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was I guess my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I was very confused because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexually experienced than she really is, to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post, she writes, "Again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super goon."
Again, that doesn't make any sense because, like, if you're not alleging anything illegal, then why would the recording non-consensually matter? Because, like, I remember this being, like, a massive discrepancy in his, like, in the original allegations. You're saying nothing illegal happened, but you're saying that he non-consensually recorded you during sex, which would imply that something illegal happened because that is an illegal act that occurred. So I don't, like, that's a massive, massive contradiction in, like, her testimony.
Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that.
It seems like everything that she is alleging against Turkey Tom is a projection of herself because she seems to be the bigger gooner than he is, like, based off of the text messages.
For information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, "Rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time."
I don't understand, like, how people can be into, like, a rape fetish. Like, listen, I understand that CNC is a thing, consent, non-consent, but even that within itself is, like, a form of consensual sex to some capacity. But, like, people, it's just so weird to explicitly say, hey, I want you to, like, rape me or something. It's so fucking weird. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not usually for kink-shaming people as long as everybody is a consenting adult or within a reasonable age range, but I don't get why people are so obsessed with the idea of being sexually assaulted. It's just like, maybe this is her way. She needs a therapist. Like, truthfully, I think that she just needs to deal with this in, like, therapy offline.
My response to this is consensual sex is good. And she says, you know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it. So from the very first interaction we have, she calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, I know what you mean. And for the record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up, just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything in the woods, in case you're curious about that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where Rowan talks about sex. On Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free, and says that she needs my, quote, big dick. And I say, don't say and she says, it is, and I need it. On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like, yeah.
But
it's so weird because, like, that doesn't make any sense because she was the one being, like, the main aggressor in the situation. Like, Turkey Tom wasn't begging her at all based off of what I'm seeing.
Here is a text.
That doesn't mean that he never did it, like, in real life, but it seems to be that everything was a lot more consensual than she was letting on.
Message of me directly telling her, look, I'm a selfish lover, and she says, it's okay, I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak. Despite her acting like
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Rowan is getting absolutely fucking eviscerated in this video. Like, pretty much a majority of her narrative is, like, full of lies. I mean, I already knew that a majority of the allegations were a nothing burger, apart from, like, one allegation that was still up in the air, but even that's been disproven. This whole entire situation's fucking crazy. It's insane to see so many snarkers and so many slop tubers immediately jump on these allegations and be like, oh my god, Turkey Tom's career is over or whatever. Yeah, wow, it's almost like you didn't sift through the allegations properly, and it's almost like you didn't properly fucking look into everything, and it's almost like we've had to be taught this lesson a million times to wait for a response before we just blindly believe allegations. I mean, how many times are we going to learn this lesson? With fucking Quite, with fucking Slazo, with like so many other like YouTubers. I guess Call Me Carson was another false allegation. Same for George Not Found. Like, how many times are we going to learn this fucking lesson where people blindly just latch onto an allegation and then just like go with that narrative as if it's a fact and then wait for the responsibility to go like, oh shit, I was wrong, I jumped the gun. Like, how many times are we going to fucking do this? Like, I feel like we've done this so many times at this point.
Am a like sexual degenerate.
I could also see people doubling down on their confirmation bias and being like, oh no, but like Turkey Tom is still wrong in this way, and they're gonna like nitpick certain parts of the allegations and be like, well, you still should have done this, or you still should have done this, or this. Like, it's for some people, it's never gonna be enough, but it was pretty clear to me from the get-go that these allegations were very, like, something was not adding up about them.
Repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy. Here she is saying, you match my freak, kind of. Not you're too freaky or we've been too freaky. She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode. In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking about her pussy. And she responds to me saying, you gonna tear it up or what? Now, my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow, romantic, candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not. Here in this next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And
okay, what the fuck?
Not. Here in this next
my mom wants me to go early mass with her tomorrow, so I'll probably just leave from there. Leaving mass to go get some dick. Should be awesome. You type like a fan fiction. It's funny. The ... it's fire. It is.
next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now. And I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But the strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry. Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken.
Okay. The image is AI generated of me and my friend into men. Her boy version mogged me. Do you think I'll be able to get head? Dude, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Dude, Jesus fucking Christ. She has, like, some weird, like, I keep saying that, but, like, she is a weird, like, sexual fucking deviant in these messages. Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with her? Like, therapy or Jesus or whatever fucking helps you. I mean, I don't know about Jesus. I'm not a particular fan of organized religion, but holy fucking shit, dude. I don't know if we need to read some of these messages. It's pretty fucking clear what, like, a lot of these messages imply and entail. Like...
taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because it causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, no, I gotta do it as much as possible before. Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July...
Oh my god. These messages are so fucking explicit. Like, I get that a lot of it's necessary to, like, prove Tom's narrative, that she was more of the, like, sexual deviant than he was, but still...
July 2nd, she says, I miss that big dick so much, I'm under spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing condoms, and Rowan says, ew, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her, and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big, white cock. In this next one, she texts me saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. In this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She then says, I have the big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough, in this next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting me, "I hate gooner men." And then not even 1 minute later, she says, "I need that big white cock." On August 23rd, she says, "Whenever I wake up without my morning Tom face fuck, I am sad." On September...
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, think to myself, like, I wonder why Turkey Tom stayed with her. You know, and, like, that might sound like I'm blaming Turkey Tom for something I shouldn't be blaming him for, but, like, all the signs were there of her being, like, a fucking crazy woman. Like, more than anything else. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I would have dipped out of there if I realized how much of, like, listen, I'm a fucking gooner to, like, the 1,000,000th degree, but I don't know if I would be nearly as much of a gooner as she is showing here. Like, she is pretty explicitly, like, some kind of, like, sexual deviant.
For a second, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me.
That's true, but a little closer wouldn't hurt. At least we are, like, medium distance and not long distance. If I was in your town, I would want to come over and twerk on you all the time. Same, believe me. Yeah, it would be insane, because what the fuck what does that even say? WLD? I would wanna come and Sid all the time, or suck your dick all the time. That's what it is. SYD. Good morning, Tom. First test today.
But if she did, it would be an issue because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, "I miss that dick so much." Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie with the caption, "When it's rape time." And after she said that, all I did was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 a.m., Rowan says, "I hope you come. I got something special."
Yeah, like I said, I think after the whole Destiny situation, I think Turkey Tom has kind of just, like, been super careful with the way, like, he interacts with women, because this was all in, like, 2025. So I think Turkey Tom has just been, like, super, super careful about the way he, like, talks with women and everything. Especially after, like, Destiny. Like, you could tell just by the way, like, Turkey Tom talks that he is being super, super careful with the way that he just interacts with them. But I like I said, I don't even think you should be interacting with these women at all to begin with.
For our rape times. I say change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, "I know." She expands on this particular message and says, "Are you mad at me? I know it's consensual." So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that
And yet she decided in her allegations that it was non-consensual.
gone through a lot of our messages, I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October. This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her, and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our texts day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texts me saying, "You are perfect." On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out.
Okay. Did you get home okay? Hi, yes I did. This new Taylor album is... Oh, she's a Taylor Swift fan? Bro, Taylor Swift fans are fucking crazy. Man, that's why she's fucking insane. All my friends are at ACL today. You're my semi-formal date in my heart.
She asked me if I got home okay, and she says that I am her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive
Bro, she keeps saying the fucking N-word. Like, this... Like, what is happening?
way, and I tell her that
Like, what is actually happening with the way that she interacts? Bro, there are so many fucking red flags I'm noticing about this woman. I really, like, what did Turkey Tom see in her? Was the sex just that good? Was he addicted to the sex as much as she was? I feel like that's the only reason he stayed with her this long, is that in the end, Turkey Tom didn't stop gooning, according to, like, what his merch is supposed to advocate for. That's the bigger fucking allegation more than anything else, is that Turkey Tom didn't stop fucking gooning at the end of the day, alright?
should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry about it, and that she is beautiful. On October 8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm.
And then she has, like, this photo of an anime girl. Like, this woman's obviously, like, fucking, like, nasty and just, like, insane.
She then resends me a meme that says, "Me if I do not have violent sex very soon." On October 8th, she also says, "I miss my handsome husband." Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She's
my handsome husband. You guys aren't even, like, married yet. I don't know. When, like, it's one thing for people that are dating. If they've been dating for a long time and they call each other that, like, let's say, like, 5 years maybe, or maybe even 3 years. and they call each other that just because, like, they've been together for a while at that point. They trust each other at that point. So that'd be one thing. But they, like, you have to remember the context of this is that they had only been dating for, like, months, and she's already calling him, like, a husband. That's crazy.
Says, I miss sucking on it. She then texts me saying, you got to start putting rape time in your reminders.
Jesus fucking Christ. After Tom has said, hey, like, listen, can you stop calling it that? And she keeps calling it that. Like, she obviously has, like, a CNC kink.
On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out.
Which would be fine if, like, it was actually, like, not fucking crazy like it is here.
I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, let me know when you get back safe. I always have such a fun time with you.
How are you? I'm good. I'm locked in. How about you? I'm good. I finished my presentation. Now I study on my other tests. Nice. I hope it goes good. I always have such a fun time with you. Post-Tom depression. Turkey Tom, you gotta leave this girl. You had to fucking leave this girl way sooner, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, this, like, you gotta stay away from the fucking crazies.
On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning, and she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time.
That's the sign of somebody who's mentally well, is partying and going out.
With me. On October 5th.
Listen, I used to party a lot post-breakup as well and stuff like that. And like, listen, I had fun at the parties. I'm not saying I didn't have fun, but definitely, I don't know. I just have other stuff that I want to worry about in my life more than anything else.
15th, she says, I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it. And that evening, she says, I would kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you. I say, that's true. I'm a nice guy. And she says, yeah, I'm the bad guy. On October 17th, we've already read this, but this is once again where she says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I say, yeah, I do sometimes actually. And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, need that big white cock. In the mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me. Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October 19th,
yeah, I mean, it seems like that allegation had been debunked within like the first 2 minutes 30 seconds of this video, so that's a sign that it's not looking good for her.
texts me saying she needs my milk right now. She then says I miss my perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes. At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, I need that dick. On October 21st, I sent her a bicep photo. She responds saying, you look good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick. She says, I love you. You're a great boyfriend. She then says, you never officially asked me to be your girlfriend, to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, text me when you get home safe, and I say, I made it. She also texted me saying, I love when my bed smells like your musk. On October 24th,
this girl's so fucking crazy. This girl is so crazy. Like, just everything, like all the proof that Tom is showing here is just so overwhelming, and it really just demonstrates just like how fucking batshit insane she is.
she says, good night, you're the best boyfriend ever. October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a
Yeah, I don't think we need to pause and read some of these. Like, a lot of it is just her obsessing over him, and I feel like we just get the idea. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, just because, like, we are slogging through some of this.
Outfit and says, meow, I miss Tom's big white dick. That night, she says, I'm going to send you ass pics tomorrow. On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says, next time during our epic rape time, you can tie me up.
Oh my god. Do not text me saying epic rape time, consensual sex time. I'm also excited to wear our costumes. Bro, Turkey Tom is into being a furry? I thought he went to an MLP convention or whatever, trying to make fun of all the bronies. Is Turkey Tom exposing himself for being a furry? That's, like, the most damning allegation out of all of this. You know, forget non-consensually recording. Like, the furry allegations are... That's a pretty tough one, Turkey Tom, to admit to here.
I say, you mean consensual sex, and she follows it up by saying, you know what I mean, Tom, rough sex. Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you now claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly basis. Now, that evening, the evening of October 26th, you can see that I hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mentioned that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th, she says that she hopes I'm doing well. She loves me so much. On October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st, at 12:30 in the morning, she texts me and says, I had a nightmare you broke up with me. Oh my god. She then says that I should cut a hole in my Batman suit for my dick. On October 31st in the afternoon...
Yeah, you should have fucking, like, cut this girl off a while ago. Like, it's pretty clear to me that she's, like, insane. And, like, the signs were there, Tom, and you obviously were there like, it's pretty clear to me that he's being a bit of a fuckboy here. Like, obviously, he's not responding to her very quickly, and he's not, like, I don't know, like, obviously, like, he is being a bit of a fuckboy here, because, like, he's not responding, he's not really complimenting her, he doesn't really seem that interested in a long-term relationship. He is going on for a little bit longer than what a normal fuckboy would be into, but again, being a fuckboy is not a crime.
She says, "Oh, Tom, I yearn for the big white cock." On November 1st,
but then again, she's also being kind of crazy as well with the sex, so she's playing into it heavily. Like, there's no way. And also, Tom, charge your fucking phone as well. You're at 15%, my guy.
20 a.m., she says, "Up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over." I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, "You was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna myself." I tell her, "Good night, I'll see you tomorrow," and I then say, "Do not say anything like that ever again." Now, for a little more context on this specific message and what she's talking about here, during our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to show, as far as like moving physically closer to her. And at a few points,
yeah, I mean, like, again, you're fuckboying her, which is, like, obviously a little bit on you, but again, I'm not really, like, it's very small compared to what the allegations were. So hopefully Turkey Tom can mature a little more, and it's just like, hey, don't do that, Turkey Tom. That's just like, that's literally the criticism. That's it. Like, it's not something that Turkey Tom can't improve from. It's not something that that should forever condemn him till the end of time. It's just, hey, don't do that, Turkey Tom.
she suggested that we move in together, and I said, you know, it's just too soon. We're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months.
Well, I mean, you are fuckboying her. It's pretty clear from the texts.
To move in together.
But he's also very careful with what he's saying to her after, like, the whole Destiny controversy.
So that's the context of this. She would constantly bring up shit and compare herself to my ex, or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like, I'm dating you right now. Stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, "Mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart."
Oh my god. I am not a loser girlfriend. My bad. Had fun though, but some N-words. Again, she is a white woman continuously saying the N-word for some fucking reason. We're preaching the gospel outside of the club, and it made me sad. Mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart for you. I know this. Good morning. Okay, so I'm going sober because last night was not good. That is good, and good morning. Hi, my sweet love, Batman. I started crying at the club. What time did you want to link?
For you, I know this. And this carries into the morning where she says, "Hi, my sweet love." The next day around noon, she says, "Sorry for being kind of bitchy. Let me know when you're on your way." I say that I have arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits. And on November 2nd, I say that I made it home. And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October. And there's no indication of any kind of abuse, any kind of mistreatment, or even really anything negative. But almost every single day, she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good. And she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through a few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, "I'm trying to make you nut." I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I am a sweetie pie. She's grateful for me. She wants to make me nut again, in her words, and she hopes we're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends me a naked photo of herself again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later, I broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie. Rowan was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship.
Yeah, pretty clearly so. And again, the signs were there that she was fucking insane. I would have broken up with her way sooner than you did, Turkey Tom, but it's pretty clear to me that you were there for the goon sessions, and even though your merch says stop gooning, but you know what I mean? I guess we'll let that one slide, right? Again, that's one of your biggest crimes, is you advocate to stop gooning, but you're gooning pretty hard, and in the end, I don't know, Turkey Tom.
I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce any because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey, like, I've struggled with eating issues in the past, and I'm kind of still trying to gain some weight and make sure everything's okay. And he would tell me, "Oh, I love how skinny you are. I like how small you are, you know.
I don't really think he would have said any of these things.
Like, I love how
I
you're
mean, at this point, like, this Rowan person's credibility is so fucking low that I'm just not willing to believe any word that she says, because she is, like, confirmed lied about several things. And, like, a lot of the proof pretty much contradicts some of the original claims that she was trying to make anyway.
body is like skinny," and like just say all this stuff that was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious
Hard to hear? How is it hard to hear?
claim, and if true, would undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy, but it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. In this next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. In this next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good. In this next one, she sends me an image that says nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say that's a sickening image. Now, for those who don't know, this is like it's like a pro anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be healthy for her, as well as saying I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I find her sexy how she is, but that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now 7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations.
I mean, I don't really want to post it on my story because I don't feel like coming back to social media right now, but you have you never done age play? You don't have to post yourself or whatever, it's fine. I'm sorry you're going through this whole thing. Would you prefer it if you could get people to, like, leave me the fuck out of it? We barely dated. I'm gonna try my best to minimize you even being talked about, yeah. Okay. I mean, like, again, I've already made my stance on age play clear. I think age play is pretty gross and weird, and I personally wouldn't do it. But if everybody is within a reasonable age range or a consenting adult, it does not matter. It's none of our business, really. And people need to stop pretending like it's a predatory thing and it means that Turkey Tom is into underage girls because of the age play. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no logic behind it.
And she clearly states that I've never done age play. An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people: Rowan, Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for some reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Turkey Tom is like a fuckboy in all of this. That's like the biggest crime, is Turkey Tom is a fuckboy. This is... Really, when you boil it down, this went from, like, Destiny 2.0 to Harry Sisson 2.0. Like, these allegations are so incredibly tame. And, like, I guess, like, I mean, not the original allegations, but, like, what they have leveled to the point where I'm just not really... like, Turkey Tom can move on from this if he just stops gooning and takes his own advice.
Asian when it comes to age play is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex. It's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are going to see as a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done. And I think that Rowan should accept it about herself too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan stated, "One more thing to add I thought was odd. Never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car."
Okay, some of this I kind of don't really care about, so I'm going to speed this up again.
As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff. So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing Hello Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man, and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all, which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed...
I mean, that also explains part of why they're crazy. Like, I mean, it never occurred to me, but there were some people that were saying, like, girls that are into Hello Kitty are also... might be a tad crazy in the head, so... I don't know, dude. I mean, make of that what you will, I guess.
dressed in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored...
Oh, she's into Ghostface too. Oh, she's really freaky. Like, women that are into, like, fucking Ghostface and that are, like, super fucking horny, like, forget it. Like, they are, like, freaks. Like, I would know because of the Dead by Daylight community. People get, like, super fucking horny over Ghostface. It's insane.
Hello Kitty image.
I guess it's just because you don't know who's behind in the mask, so part of that is, like, mysterious and hot, I guess. I feel like that's part of the appeal.
On her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, no Hello Kitty with a frowny face, and I say, correct. And something interesting about these texts is that she shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall.
That's fucking crazy. I mean, I did hear that, like, from some of these allegations that, like, one of Turkey Tom's exes was into Lolicon to some capacity, and, well, I mean, I guess the evidence speaks for itself. That's as much as I can say about that.
I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphettes. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains control over her after he takes her cross-country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. In this next screenshot, Rowan asks me, if I start dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl, would you still fuck with me? And I replied, no, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive. Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room. And this next one is probably the strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel. And under it, she writes, imagine the rape here. And I say, I will not imagine. Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of the match because I could kind of tell there was, like, something weird about this guy. Like, I didn't know if he was famous or whatever, and also...
You definitely knew that he was famous. That's why you took a picture of it. There's no other reason that you wouldn't take a picture of it otherwise. Like, you don't just take a picture of somebody that you match on Tinder with, aside from you knowing who that person is. Like, I don't believe that for a second. That doesn't make any sense.
I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
Just like everybody you matched with to, like, gossip with? Like girlfriends?
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird, so I took pictures of our match.
She's also stated repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is, Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder, where she said, you have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers, but this man is a menace. I even confronted her about this when we first hung out because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she first met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago. Rowan said, oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward.
Bro, you, like, how did... I'm still so convinced that, like, I mean, I've already answered my own question. Like, it's obvious Turkey Tom wanted to fuck this girl because, again, this girl is a walking red flag. Every time she talks, she is a red flag, and I don't know... I would have left sooner, is all I'm going to say. I wouldn't have fucked around with her for as long as Turkey Tom did, but it's pretty clear to me he wanted to get as much out of his dick as possible, clearly.
I responded, that's okay, I was just surprised. She replied, I know I probably look crazy. I said, I mean a little bit, it's okay. I just wish you told me, that's all. She answered, I didn't want to because I thought it would be weird. I'm sorry. Kinda lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro-celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it, lol. I've gotten better about it. Once again, this is just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about, but it's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship looking back. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December and that after that she realized how bad it was and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're gonna get into later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th, literally days later. She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online, and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, this is going to be like a recording. Okay, so I guess we'll put it back on normal speed just to listen to this recording. Yeah, okay.
What you want me to say to you? I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just break. We'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Why?
Because you don't deserve one.
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Why?
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so sorry that your mom raised you. She seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other. We don't have to cause each other any more anguish, okay?
I just want to see you again, though. Like, do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're, like, threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly.
Wow. That's a smoking gun and a half if I've ever heard it. I think that recording right there is the exact reason why you always keep receipts, in case some of these people decide to come forward. I literally said at the beginning of these allegations, Turkey Tom had a folder called Just In Case, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably in case they ever come forward with, like, allegations or decided to do shit against him. And turns out my prediction was correct, although all the snarkers and the slop tubers were like, oh no, this is evidence that Turkey Tom had blackmail on them or something. It's not looking good for Turkey Tom or whatever. But, like, it's pretty fucking clear to me that Turkey Tom was using it just in case they ever decided to come forward against him about it. So, yeah, wow. There's not really much else I can say over that recording that I don't think would be necessary. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Anyone listening to it with half a brain would understand that it pretty much makes her look really, really bad. I don't think there's any more context that she could provide that would make that recording at all any better. Yeah, there you go. I mean, sometimes it's best to just let things stand out for themselves.
That I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times.
That's crazy. Dude, this woman is, like, borderline fucking dangerous. Bro, like, I mean, the signs of her being dangerous, or, I mean, like, crazy were already there, but calling 30 times, that's fucking, like... Dude, this is, like, borderline psychotic.
And texted me 80 times with no response.
Oh, jeez. Oh, we're gonna have to read these, aren't we? If you don't want to talk or listen to me, just say you don't want to waste my time. You need to apologize. Also, I need $900 back from my flight to Maine because it was a waste of my money, apparently. Oh my god, she's also entitled too? Look at that. Goodbye, Tom. Good luck impressing the next BPD whore with your limp dick, even though she said it was a big dick. Now all of a sudden she's saying it's a limp dick. Oh no, what happened? I have screenshots of you talking about Ellie and how your dick pics were gonna be put all over the internet. You're literally such a arsler. Tell your friend from Dallas to hit me up. Is she talking about Brandon Buckingham? My question is, why string me along so long and say you love me when you didn't? It became clear to me that at some point that this would be the response I would get if I were to break up with you, and I've been dreading that slowly, considering you just told me you were talking to other guys over phone, and you just threatened to post about me publicly. Realistically, I can't trust you anyway. Is that why you didn't break up with me? Because you were scared I would say some dumb shit? That's so pussy, bro. I see why you didn't want to hook up with me, because TS is so bad. You're literally just as bad as people you make videos about, like fucking a Belle Delphine impersonator and getting your dick leaked is crazy, and then telling your girlfriend about it, expecting sympathy. She still thinks they're dating, by the way. That's the insinuation with that message. Have some self-awareness. You're really just an overgrown man-child in some ways. And then she sends a gif of Ohio impressed. And also, I need some of my money back because you should have told me before the trip to break up with me. And also, I need my money. Oh, we already read that. You literally sit at home all day and so nothing, have no hobbies except for gym and video games, and have a high body count, but you think you're this high value man. It's crazy. I know whichever girl is unfortunate enough to get into a relationship with you next will go through the same thing I did, because you're actually so emotionalist and mean. I mean, yeah, he's a fuckboy and it's a horrible relationship, but this girl needs like a therapist and not to constantly message over and over again. Also, you're like mad chapped in the face. I had to look past it. I'm done being a hater. You have a lawyer? You can't record me without consent. Posting text screenshots isn't illegal, dumbass. Good luck trying to sue me for posting text message conversations on a public website. You're literally so stupid, Tong. I should have gone to the police right away, but I have evidence. I told my roommate after, as well as my friend Sophia. You can't even deny it. TS for real happened, and you said word for word, I like hurting you. I still remember because of how fucked it felt. I'm getting a no contact order. It will go on your record. You're a fucking narcissist. I also got a lawyer. I hated having to tell my mom, you are genuinely a horrible human being. I never loved you. I love the idea. Oh my god, this girl is so fucking nuts. Like, this girl, clearly, there's something wrong with this girl. I would argue that this girl might actually be, like, borderline dangerous. Like, if she becomes any more of a threat, I legitimately would recommend to Turkey Tom to maybe get, like, a restraining order on this girl if this keeps up, because this is fucking crazy. I'm going to the courthouse in Waco when I get there and ordering a temporary restraining order due to past threats you might made against me, and might go to a real court in which both of us will have to reappear.
She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this, like, weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly.
Yeah, according to the text messages, you would disagree with yourself.
Especially...
Or is that your second half of your BPD talking? I don't know.
During sex. And, like, over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong, and he was like, well, you can leave me if you want.
I love how someone in chat said, Tom is the victim here. Little did pretty much the majority of the public know that he would be correct.
I was like, yeah.
I knew before Tom's response went public. These allegations seemed really silly.
I think I'm gonna leave you.
But it's insane how people are, like, time and time again are willing to jump the gun.
That's basically what happened.
But there was no, like, specific, like, did you guys talk at all between breaking up and then?
Tom and I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I blocked him.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to forgive her for breaking up with her, saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages filled...
January 11th. This is 3 days before the allegations went live. You recorded other girls too. During sex, you recorded other girls during. Like the same thing where you don't ask, you just pull your phone out and record it. That's illegal, Tom. I hope you delete them, because you really have some sick power thing, hitting and choking women, even leaving bruises. It's good to know I'm not the only one who felt extremely uncomfortable.
With lies that she came up with once I dumped her. Now, with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now, back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes her time with me as the worst experience of her life.
And then you fly back, and how did that go? How long did you
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman type gooner. When asked how things between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe. Definitely was going to be...
Whoa! That's a slur. We're going to censor that. We're also going to censor the video temporarily because I do not want to risk it.
me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him. He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible. These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel them is to just look through our messages together. In these two DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th.
I don't think I'm gonna read any of these. It just looks like, okay, they're sexting. Cool.
And leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, I had so much fun, Tom, you can kidnap me whenever. God
damn, it seems like Turkey Tom has a similar habit to Destiny where he just like constantly seems to... He just so happens to end up with a lot of crazy fucking girls, and it seems like the sex was probably good, but was it worth all of this? Probably not, and I think Turkey Tom is probably going to be careful about his dating life going forward, and that's probably for the best, because I feel like crazy girls, you just got to vet them out a lot better.
I feel so alone in my bed. She then says that she has to come back. Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say, let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie said...
It's hard. Coming and hard. Turkey Tom. I'm starting to think the allegations against you are true again. I'm just fucking around.
Says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once again, she's accusing me of recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, I need you right meow. I need you ASAP. February 22nd and February 24th, we have I miss you and are you home yet? February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, I'm gonna suck you so good. She then says, I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex. On March 2nd, she says, I like you lots. And I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, your pussy's gonna be so sore.
Okay, dude.
And Katie responds with, good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating. She then says, I'm ready for you to
God, Jesus Christ.
throw me around. Now, when we were discussing...
I'm so over these, like, sexting messages. Oh, man.
How many days she would want to stay.
It's like reading other people's sex messages are cringe. I mean, again, I don't think Turkey Tom is guilty at all here. Like, I mean, this has been, like, an evisceration of a fucking response. Like, Turkey Tom has done a very good job disproving pretty much every single allegation. He's, like, backed it up with tons of receipts, tons of evidence. Like, it's like, I don't think there's anything these girls can say that would prove their narrative correct at this point. Like, it's pretty clear that a lot of them are pretty unreliable when it comes to the way that they talk.
She says, as long as you want, and that we'll have so much sex and party so hard. And she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. her time, she says that she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second visit, right? Prior to getting there, she says that she is starving for me. Now, March 15th, this is when she leaves. She says I still have her toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now, keep in mind...
Oh my god, is it Tana Mongoose? It's, she fucked me with a toothbrush.
Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you say?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she and...
Alright, censor this again, because there's a slur on screen.
...did things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when things really started piecing together further to me that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like, something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her. Well, on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or are just using me. Lol. I'm just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me, or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you, and I think you're cool, and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially, I guess. Yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse, which is probably why after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio.
Oh my god. Yeah, doesn't make any sense to want to hang out with someone for a third time after you were allegedly abused and had a horrible experience and it was the worst experience of your life. Yeah, because that makes so much sense.
Where I was at the time, and I did not reciprocate. After this proposition, she slid up on my Instagram story 12 times over the next 10 months, and I did not slide up on her story once, not a single time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting a guy that she finds evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You gotta keep in mind here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of, I mean, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls, too, make themselves easy targets.
Wait, Jet Neptune? You mean the person that, like, hangs out with, like, Sam Hyde or whatever?
Targets with the hair and piercings because they have sexual trauma. She then says, they complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes. 1 month and 2 days later, I broke up with Rowan, and in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, you know, Tom's a hypocrite. He gooned. And you're right. I did goon. Okay. I did not stop gooning. So
yeah, well, that's not a crime. But live up to your values better, Tom. Find God or something, and God will help you stop gooning, surely.
well, maybe in the end the hats are more relevant than ever. Anyway, that's about it. I've said everything I need to. Goodbye.
Well, I mean, that was a evisceration of a response. I mean, I kind of knew that the allegations were pretty bullshit for the most part. He disproved the most serious allegation being non-consensually recording his exes, and he disproved that within like the first 2.5 minutes into his video. So, I mean, Turkey Tom comes off with a lot more credibility than his exes do. Yeah, this whole situation was just stupid right from the get-go. Like, I feel like people are just like way too quick when it comes to jumping on the bandwagon into allegations. But yeah, we can close the book on this whole Turkey Tom saga and move on to bigger and better things.